Right. We are in the church, the sanctuary of the orphanage. This building is the largest room in the facility, and it is used for the Divine Liturgy on Sundays, and so it's a hallowed and sacred place. But it is also throughout the week used for classroom space. So this is where the students come to study, where they learn their math, their science, their English, Swahili. They study in here, and so it's fitted with the traditional desks of the Kenyan school system, and well, you can see what it is. It's a shed with tin roof and with some coverings for the walls. It's got a dirt floor, and it is well decorated with icons, but it's particularly when it's extremely rainy, when it's wet and there's lots of mud, this is probably a difficult situation for students. It's what they have, and so they make do with it, and that's a very African tradition, to make the best of what you've got, and to be skillful and intelligent in the use of whatever materials you have available. But on the other hand, it wouldn't take very much money in the grand scheme of things to fix this, to improve this, to put windows so that you don't have the wind just blowing through it, to put in some kind of flooring so that it's up off of the ground and up off the mud, to put in some insulation. These are not terrifically expensive or terrifically difficult things. They just require money, and they require more money than the orphanage has. And this is not the only orphanage. There are lots of orphanages in Kenya, and they're each in the same kind of situation. Anything that can be done, both to meet immediate needs of the orphanages, but also in cooperation with various programs to meet long-term needs, to help address the long-term economic situation of the orphanages here in Kenya, is important. It's important for this to be done. If Orthodoxy in Kenya and Uganda and other places is going to survive and thrive, it has to come up with its own sort of economic base. But on the other hand, you've got to begin with something, and this is what they've got. And so, what can I say? My parish supports this orphanage, supports it with a monthly payment. If people do that, even in small amounts, it adds up, and it eventually enables things to be done that currently can't be done. Anyway.
Thank you so much.
Easy. Hello. It's a great opportunity for me to be able to come and visit the orphanage here, St Irene's. It's been wonderful being able to serve liturgy and to baptize children. It's been a great joy for me. For several years, my parish and I have supported this orphanage, and I have been friends with Father Konstantinos and his Papadia. This has been an opportunity for me to get to visit the children, to be able to put names to faces, to be able to see their situation. The fact of the matter is that there are great needs here. There are the circumstances. It's rustic, to put it mildly, and it's a hard place to live a hard life, and a very small amount goes a long way here. The orphanage is still getting their water situation up and running. They have water collection from the roofs. They have a borehole, but they still need to get a pump, and they still need to be able to transport that water from the borehole to the facility. The facilities need insulation. It gets cold here in the South Aberdares. I know this from growing up and going to school here, and there's really nothing much to keep the wind from blowing through this. It's got to get cold here during the cold weather, and people need things. They need food, they need books, they need materials, they need sports equipment, they need proper bedding. These are all things that are needed by orphanages like this one, and there is a limit to what the Kenyan Orthodox is, a limit to how far they can stretch themselves. There are many, many orphans in this country, and the Orthodox Church has decided to work with the poorest of the poor, and they have decided to begin their ministry with those who are most in need. But that means, practically speaking, that they are stretched extremely thin, and we have a duty and an obligation to provide assistance. So I'm hoping anybody who sees this will take that seriously, and we'll support this orphanage and the other orphanages here. A little goes a long way. Anyway, it's a wonderful place. These are wonderful people. They're kind and good, and it's been a delight to spend time with the children, and they deserve as much help as you can give. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Thank you so much. Thank you. We continue.
Yeah, continue.
Yes, so as I have said, we are doing orientation. This is our kitchen, and this is the condition. Father will say something about it. Welcome.
It smells good in here. Obviously, this is an open fire kitchen with lots of cabbages. But this is how they prepare food for the orphanage. It's a lot of work, people. The people preparing the meals. I don't know. I can't imagine trying to prepare meals for this many people under these kinds of conditions. But obviously they do, and they do it successfully. But once again, the situation could be improved. It can be improved with a little bit of finances, and anything that you can give helps to make the situation better. I mean, if nothing else, the fuel itself costs money. This facility is not covered with a forest, so they're having to acquire the fuel from somewhere, and that costs money. So once again, anything you can do to help.
Thank you so much. So, Father, it's kind of Kizeri. Yes, Kizeri there we prepare ugali and the like.
Oh, ugali.
I hope you will enjoy with us.
I like ugali.
Yes.
Ugali, I like.
I will confess all my sorrows, for many woes fill my soul to its limits, and unto Hades my whole life has now approached. Like Jonah I pray to you, O God, now raise me from corruption. Most holy Theotokos, save us from death and corruption. He has saved my nature, held by death and corruption.
Well, this is a major achievement, being able to get clean water. Before this, the orphanage, in order to get their water, they would have to cart big containers, plastic containers, and travel with the water at some distance. And so this will make everybody's life a lot easier. It will make things functional, but of course it needs to be finished. Those of you who know me from the United States know that I'm a gardener, that I care very much about agriculture and about rural communities. And for me, this down here is very exciting. I grew up here in Africa. I learned how to garden here in Africa. And this is a community that is trying to produce its own food, that is supporting themselves as best as they can with the land that they've got. And once again, the more land they have, the easier it is to support the children of the orphanage and to be able to be self-sustaining. They have managed to acquire an acre. Another acre or two would help a great deal in terms of being able to sustain their existence as a school. And so certainly, if anybody's got the scratch and can actually donate money so that they can buy that extra piece of land, that would be hugely helpful. Anyway, they've got potatoes, they've got onions, they've got cabbages. What else do you got down there, Father?
We have got the flowers. We could sell the flowers at least to get some.
Okay, very good. So it's financially productive. That's good.
Yes, yes,
Anyway, it's good soil. This is not bad. You've done pretty well for yourself.
yes.